I wish you all a happy Friday and a happy Ramadan. Mr. President, yesterday there was tension during the press event carried out in between the Foreign Minister of Greece and Foreign Minister of Turkey, Mr. Çavuşoğlu. How would you like to comment on this, Mr. President? Distinguished friends, as you know, we invited him to Turkey, and I also hosted him before the press conference. The atmosphere was very positive during our talks, but during the live event, things changed in course. In the face of the behaviors or the attitude of Dendias, our foreign minister showed him his place. It could have not been softer, otherwise would have not befit to our discourse and our country. And they did what was necessary. And of course, this is not right, we believe. On one hand, we have the reconciliation process, and on the other, in between Turkey and Greece, there are relations. And I said to him personally, we should not allow others, third parties, the EU or whatsoever, to come in between us. We are two neighborly countries, and as of our history, we have had good relations. We are such two countries, and right now we have around 150,000 cognates Turkish community living in Western Thrace. Likewise, you have your connections with us, I told him. You visited Istanbul yesterday. You had a meeting with the Greek Patriarch, and you met the representatives of the Greek community living in Turkey. These are positive approaches, in our opinion. However, I do not know why, but you unfortunately do not recognize our 150,000 Turkish cognates as they deserve, and do not show them the interest as citizens. And the chief mufti there is appointed directly by you. According to Lausanne Treaty, you do not have the authority or the mandate to appoint the chief mufti there. We do not, for example, appoint the patriarch. The Synod Assembly appoints the patriarch. And the convention of that is only possible if they are our citizens. So in terms of citizenship, the figures were low, and we granted many with citizenship. The number was 7, and then they brought it up to the necessary figure required, and then the patriarch is now elected. And who is going to elect the chief mufti in Greece? Our muftis, our imams, or clerics should be able to elect the chief mufti, but unfortunately Greece cannot tolerate that, and the muftis or imams working in Greece are not given the authority, but they appoint them as if they are their own clerics. However, this is against the international law we have in between us, and it is constituting a reason for the damage, potential damage on our relations. But it has been ongoing for years, and unfortunately so far no result has been produced, even though we had many talks with the leaders of the past and the current time. I hope we will have some results, but unfortunately it doesn't seem so. How would you like to comment on the remarks by Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu recently, Mr. President? You now have probably got to know Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu. You have expressed it beautifully. And now he makes statements that are falling far-fetched from one another and one statement to the other. You know him now. Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu, now the farmers have potatoes or onions they are yet to sell. And our assembly, our organization, teams do work on this. And my colleagues told me that the farmers now have 300,000 tons of onions and 1.2 million tons of potatoes yet to be sold. And also they informed me, my colleagues informed me that there are some also issues related with the other products, and I talked to the relevant authority chairs, and they told me they will attend to the matter immediately. And I told the president, and I told him that there are 3 different types of rice, and the best price for these rice plants should be provided, I told him, if our silos are also available for storage. And he said, the president of the Office for Agricultural Products told me that we have available warehouses, and for the rice plants we have solved the problem. This will be the case for other products. I gave instructions to the Ministry of Interior Affairs, and before the Eid, we will be distributing many products. Rice was not distributed as in a form of grant, but potatoes and onions were distributed. But I don't know why, but Mr. Kemal is somehow disturbed by that. But we know what our job is, we know what to do, and we continue on our path without caring for what they say. In Cyprus, the Constitutional Court closed down the Quran courses. How would you like to comment on this, Mr. President? Distinguished friends, Foreign Minister Çavuşoğlu is in northern Cyprus, and I told him before he departed for Cyprus that he should talk this matter in greater detail with the head of the Religious Affairs Authority in Cyprus, and then make the statement necessary. And of course, the statement by the President of the Constitutional Court cannot be accepted. The President of the Constitutional Court should know what secularism or laicite is and how it can be practiced. If this attitude changes, then it does. However, if such an attitude is not to change and remains, then in terms of the education for Quran recitation for our children in Cyprus, we will never allow steps that will hinder such a freedom. As you know, in terms of religious education and trainings, all matters have been solved. The secularism is not as they perceive it. And Northern Cyprus is not France. Northern Cyprus, with its practices and with everything, adapts what the Republic of Turkey also does, and it is supposed to bring them into practice and implementation. Some trade unions or syndicates who have hostility against religion have some steps taken, but it is not possible for us to accept these. And the President of the Constitutional Court should turn back away from his wrongdoing immediately. Otherwise, the steps we will take forward in the upcoming periods will be different than those in the past. And the Vice President of Turkey will talk about that matter with Mr. Ersin Tatar, and he was going to inform him about the potential actions we will take, so I keep a close track on the developments and we will take action accordingly. Distinguished friends, the opposition party tries all it can in order to prevent good work being done. The preliminary stage of our work will be as regards the bridges to be constructed over the canal. We have 6 bridges to be constructed. It can also be possibly 7. In the project, there are some actions taken as regards that. And hopefully the bridges which will run across the canal will be constructed, and the first one will be in construction as of June. The Ministry of Transportation and Ministry of Urbanization and Environment will rapidly take steps, and then we will hopefully do the groundbreaking, and after the foundation is laid, the first bridge will come under construction, and those bridges will be constructed. It is important that on both sides of the canal we have access. There will be a significant amount of rubble, and the operation for the removal of that will be tendered. Maybe local capital owners or a consortium from Turkey might operate for this, or some foreign loan lines or internally opened credit lines can help the construction be complete. Mr. President, there has been an attack in Gaza. How would you like to comment on this? The attitude of Israel against the Muslims. This recent event is a clear indicator of that. We know Islamophobia, but we know how Israel has Islamophobia, but unfortunately Israel and the Israeli administration never give up or desist from such attitudes. They have xenophobia, Islamophobia, and of course we want the whole world to keep a closer track, follow closely the Islamophobic actions by Israel and evaluate accordingly. But as long as Israel continues to adapt as such behaviors, it is not possible for our bilateral relations to come to the desired levels.
Sağ ol. Ne tatlı bir sürpriz ya. Çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sağ olun. Ve Allah bizleri Ramazan'a kavuşturdu. İnşallah bayrama da.
Thank you for your gift. Now Allah has bestowed us with this holy month of Ramadan, and hopefully we will experience the Eid altogether. And we have to, of course, reciprocate, and we will deal with that. Thank you very much.
Kayıtçı o zaman.